Hey, it's Noel from HomeHunterReport.ie. So, Krista Burgh's house is still for sale. It's been up for sale for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's recently been in the media again because of a big price drop. So, I thought it would be a bit of fun to research the property and using a home hunter report and just have a look at it and see how the other half live along the way and hopefully show you some of the nice features that Home Hunter Report has. So start by having a look at the estate agent listing on My Home. So here's the property here. You can see it's for sale for just under 10 million, an eye-watering 9.85 million. And it's in Enniskerry, not too far from Bray in Wicklow, just off the M11. So let's have a look at the house first of all, because it's absolutely stunning. They've done an incredible job with it. So I think it dates from the early 1800s, if I remember from the description. Well, let's just have a quick scan through the property here. You can see it's on some beautiful gardens, really nice property from the outside. Nice interior, you may want to redecorate it when you move in, but everybody has their own taste. But let's get to the fun stuff. It's got its own cinema, which is pretty cool. Lovely big kitchen and family room. The house has been extended a few times, and it's got a few different parts of the property, which we might see a bit of later on. And this is another thing I love about Irish properties. You can have a big property like this or a smaller property, but once you're outside Dublin in the country, you get some spectacular views, and that's exactly what this one has. So let's just keep on going. And bedrooms, one of the big bathrooms with a hot tub, and then you get to the indoor pool, which is really cool. And I think there's guest house in this part of the complex as well. It's called a pool complex in the description. It's got a bar built into it there. And then we're back to the outside. You can actually see the Sugarloaf from the gardens, which is pretty cool. So anyway, you get the idea. Absolutely beautiful property, just under 10 million. I jumped across to HomeHunterReport.ie and I generated a report, which takes just a few minutes. And here it is here. So we're going to jump through the Home Hunter Report and I'll show you how it can help you research a property. Obviously, most people aren't going to be buying a 10 million euro property, but it will give you an idea of what the report can show you along the way. So let's jump to the first section here. So the first section just kind of pulls in information from the estate agent listing, just to refresh your brain about what was actually in the property. It pulls in a selection of images. If the estate agent has published the floor plans, it will pull in the floor plans. This estate agent hasn't, but I have a sneaky way to get those floor plans, which I'll show you later on. The local property tax, which when I built Home Hunter Report, we only set it up to properties for €1 million. This one obviously doesn't come under that. So I went onto the revenue website, and the local property tax for this property, because Wicklow has an 8% premium on top of the standard local property tax rate, comes in at just under 29,000 a year. So you buy this property, you pay nearly 10 million, and then you're paying, before anything else, nearly 30,000 a year in local property tax. So you want to have deep pockets if you're looking at this one. So freehold status, the property's freehold, which means that the land the property is on is owned by the land that the property is on is owned by the person who owns the house as well. It's not owned by a ground landlord, which for most properties in Ireland, I think at this stage are freehold. A lot are still leasehold. It just means there can be some extra complications for your solicitor during the sale agreed process. Most of the time, it's quite smooth. But if it's freehold, there's less chance of any complications happening, and there's other benefits to it as well. For planning information, this is one of the fun pieces. So you can see the land the property is on, because this is what would show up on any planning applications, is the entire land, not just a property. Recently had a planning application through. So we're going to jump across to myplan.ie and have a look at that planning application. So here's the property here. This is the property here. You can see there's a lot of land here as part of this application. So let's have a look at the application and see what is actually in it. And this is all available publicly through myplan.ie. So we can get a description of what the application was. So there's the applicant's development, so alteration and extension to previously approved application. So there was obviously an older application, and this is an update to this. So refurbishment and restoration and conversion of existing outhouses. There's loads in this. They've done a lot of work to it. I think that's about five years ago. They've done a lot of work to it, and this application kind of covers all that work which was done. Now, The other nice thing about myplan.ie is down here, you can see view scanned files. If you click on that, you can see all the files which are related to the application. So you can see, what have we got here? Any fees that were received. So, did they pay for the application or not? Reports from external bodies. So if Irish Water needs to do a report to it, if ESB Networks need to do a report for the property, this is more relevant to new developments. These are all covered in the application as well. But one of the nice things is they also have floor plans. So we can see the floor plans for this property, even though the estate agent hasn't published it. So let's have a zoom into these floor plans. Oh, let's zoom out. Let's have a zoom into the floor plans and have a look at the property. So this is the plan 1 of 8. So we won't go through them all. We'll just have a quick look. So you can kind of get an idea of the property. You've got the front entrance here. And then you have all kind of, what's this, pantry, kitchen, breakfast room, family room, utility room over here. Over here, you've got the study, another main entrance. Oh, you've got the main entrance and a family entrance. Okay. The living room, morning room, and a dining room all together. Okay. And let's have a look at the next floor. What have we got here? Oh, this is just showing it in a little bit more detail. But when we jump up to the next floor here, number 3, this is something that caught my eye. The hot press is bigger than my box room, and probably warmer as well. Hopefully, if it's a hot press. So yeah, you get the idea. You can go through all the floor plans which are associated with this application and get a really good idea of the property. This would, of course, only be available if there was a planning application through in the last 10 years, I think my plan goes to. But it's pretty useful to just do a little bit of deeper research on the property itself. So let's jump back to the Home Hunter report. We'd spend all day going through the floor plans. So that was the planning application. The property price register. Okay, obviously there's no other Bushy Park gate around there, so you'd have to do a little bit more digging on the property price register and search for properties around Enniskerry. Although I don't think there'd be many comparable to this. But anyway, the BER information. Now, this one I need to figure something out because the estate agent hasn't published the BER information. Because this property originally dates from the 1800s, or at least the original structure, that would actually be exempt. So I don't know if the new part of the structure should have a BER or not. That's something I need to look into. But the estate agent hasn't published the BER here, and we don't have access to BER numbers, so we can't actually find out what that is. But anyway, needless to say, it's going to be costly to heat this home, even if it's got a good BER rating. So let's have a look at the aerial view. And this property is actually so large, this one doesn't do it justice. So let's have a look at the map here first of all. So the first thing I done was look at the satellite view of this property, and I zoomed in, and I thought, oh, okay, that property is actually not too big at all. But then, I threw the little guy here for the street view. I had a look, and I realized, okay, this is the gatehouse that's on the estate agent listing. So the gatehouse which comes to this property is actually bigger than a lot of properties which are for sale. To find the property, you have to follow the driveway all the way around, and you can see it's here. And it's you kind of get a sense of the scale of it here. It's absolutely massive. So here's the main part of the house, which we were looking at the floor plan for. There's the main entrance there. There's the family entrance. And then you can see all the other complexes here. So I think this one here is the pool complex. So the pool is in the middle here, and then you've got some more rooms off to the side, tennis court out the back. I'm not too sure what this one is. And then this one here is old stables, which I think have been converted into a garage. Looks like there's been cars parked there or something like that from the estate agent listing. But you kind of get a sense of the scale of the property. And when you zoom out, you can see all the land that's actually owned by this property. You've even got a little forest there. Go camping with the kids. That'd be a bit of fun. So yeah, it's a big property on a nice bit of land, and you can see all the old stables here, which have been converted as well. So really, really impressive. So let's jump back to the Home Hunter report. So satellite view, flood risk information. So it is near a floodplain. This is something, if you're buying this property, you definitely get a bit more research done on this. You'd obviously want to be able to insure a property like this. If it's on a floodplain, you might struggle with house insurance. But this one might be okay. It looks like it's kind of raised up a bit. I doubt there's any issues here. But that is something you'd be looking at for a property like this that's close to a floodplain. The radon map, what was the risk? 1 in 10 homes in this area are likely to have high radon. This was recently refurbished. I would guess that when they redone the foundations, or they built the foundations for the new property, There was proper radon barriers put in. But like we always recommend, when you move into a new home, get a radon test done. It takes 3 months. You just order one online. You get 2 kind of phone-sized devices to leave in your house for 3 months. After 3 months, they're returned to a lab, and that will tell you if the radon levels are dangerous or not. If they are dangerous, it's not like you have to run out of the house. There's remediation work which you can get done to draw the radon gas out from the foundation. So onto mobile coverage. Look, you're in Wicklow, close enough to Dublin. There's a lot of mountains around Wicklow, obviously. So if you're down in kind of any valleys or behind a hill, sometimes you can have weak signal. This one looks like it's good signal all around, which means you probably won't struggle with your mobile phone coverage here. Broadband is something to be aware of. So according to all the main networks, the only infrastructure that this property is on is the open air legacy, which is it's kind of the original telecom airlines, which were converted by Eircode a number of years ago, and then now are owned by Air. And there's a number of providers that can ISPs which you can get internet through, but the maximum speed seems to be coming back at 100 megabytes per second. So if internet's really important to you, you'd want to be looking at this a bit further, maybe calling up some of the bigger internet service providers and just seeing if they actually can cover the property or not and what the speeds are likely to be. If not, there's other options coming onto the market now. Elon Musk's Starlink, for example, you can now get in Ireland. It's, I think, €700 up front and then about 80 a month, but you get pretty fast internet anywhere, which is an option for some people. So there is other options there available, but if fast internet's very important to you, that's something you'd want to be looking at. Usual TV providers available throughout most of the country. Local transport. Okay, if you live here and you're getting the bus, you're going to be walking into Bray, I think, by the looks of things, to get a bus. But anyway, I'm sure transport isn't going to be an issue to you. Major transport, 27 kilometers to Dublin Airport. So, that's probably direct. So once you go around the M50, it's going to be a lot longer. With no traffic, you're getting to the airport in 30 minutes or so. Schools information, a lot of nice schools around this area. Primary schools, a lot of mixed schools. With the Powerscourt National Schools within a kilometre, you could even walk to that. And then a few down in Enniskerry and some towards Bray as well, all mixed schools. And when you get into secondary schools, I think are all in and around Bray. There's some mixed there as well. Some girls' schools, boys' schools. Then local eateries. Oh, you've got Avoca there, lovely. Yeah, and Bray up the road. Yeah, you're not going to struggle for any kind of nice restaurants if you just fancy popping out for a bit of lunch. And a few takeaways even deliver there. Look at that. Oh, actually, I wonder if they deliver out there. Anyway, that may not be an issue to you. Lots of parks around here. You're in Wicklow, probably second to Kerry only for beautiful parks that are open to the public. Then pubs, Frank Duff's. Do I know any of these ones? The Tin Roof Bar. I don't think I've ever drank in any of them. I'm sure there's some good pubs around there that they've all got some good reviews. So one of them might be your new local. You never know. And that's the end of the report. So that's a quick overview of Krista Burgh's house, beautiful house, which is currently for sale, and how you can research a property like this using Home Hunter Report. Of course, you can get a Home Hunter Report for over 90% of properties that are currently for sale in Ireland. Once we can find enough information online, we can generate a report. But if you go to HomeHunterReport.ie and put in the Eircode of the property, it will tell you if we can get a report for it or not within a few seconds. So that's it. If you have any questions about HomeHunterReport.ie, you can just email us at info@HomeHunterReport.ie. Or if you want to get your own Home Hunter Report, just go to HomeHunterReport.ie, put in the Eircode and pay, and you'll have the Home Hunter Report in your inbox within a few minutes. That's it for now. Have a good day.